Welcome to John, Sue, and Michael Rosmer's video battleathon, inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk. Today I'm going to talk about a really important topic, and I think a lot of people have experienced this in their life one time or many times, or maybe even experiencing it now. And I think it's a great topic to talk about because I hear it all the time and people complaining about it. And I think if they knew this, theory on it, that it would really help them sort things out a lot quicker. So, what am I talking about? The topic of today and what I'm talking about is this. If you are getting treated, you know, poorly, like garbage, disrespected, in a chronic kind of way, not the one off kind of somebody told you to go fuck off, but I'm talking like maybe an abusive relationship or a work, relationship where the boss picks on you or you have somebody bullying you in the schoolyard, something that's chronic and a long-term problem. The world is picking on you and you feel that life is not fair. This is probably, if that is you, this is probably a video that you want to really listen up to. Here's going to be something really shocking, and it's really the title of this video. If somebody's treating you, or if you believe that somebody's treating you like a piece of garbage, what that really means is you believe you are a piece of garbage, but you just don't know that you believe that. And yes, that's what I just said, is if you feel like someone's treating you like a piece of garbage, and that's just an example I'm using, you believe that you're a piece of garbage, but you don't consciously know that. So you're asking me, John, how the hell did I come up with that theory? Or how does that even make sense? So I'm going to link a couple of ideas here, or maybe three, depending on what comes up. But the number one theory that I'm going to link it to is, have you guys ever heard of what they call the self-fulfilling prophecy? You know, if you think if you think everybody doesn't like you, all of a sudden you turn into the guy that everybody doesn't like. Why? Because the guy who thinks everybody doesn't like him is very reclusive, very bitter, feels that he's been wronged about everyone. And nobody likes to be around that guy, those grumpy bears, right? Nobody wants to be around those people that are hating on the world. And then all of a sudden their life sucks and it's everyone else's fault, not theirs. And here's the key thing. Not theirs. Not my problem. It's everyone else. And the moment that you believe and you do not see your role in every problem that you create, I'm not saying you're 100% responsible because that's not true. But what is true is you have some sort of involvement no matter what has happened. Whether you got beat up, you got stolen from, you got whatever negative thing happened, you have some element of responsibility. You're never 0% and you're never 100%. There's always some element of that. But when you totally shift the blame and you say 0%, it's all them, then you've basically robbed your power to change things. And then you stay casted and trapped in inside the cage that you created for yourself because you blamed it all on them. And because you've blamed that all on them, that also means that they had all the power over the situation and all of the power over you. And when you believe that some situation or person has all the power over you, you become powerless to do anything about it. And you just live in this new hell, but not realizing that you've created it yourself. And this is what I'm getting at is when you realize that, oh my God, I really believe I'm a piece of garbage, that's when you can actually start to change things, right? Until you realize that, oh my God, I am a piece of garbage, you can't change that. Why? Because you don't think you're piece of garbage, or you don't think you have issues. You think something different, like, oh my God, you probably think that you're hot stuff, or that you're good, or that there is no problem. And whenever you think there's no problem, there's nothing to change. But oh man, all this crappy things, crappy people, crappy situations keep happening to you. Isn't that interesting? Woe's me, victim of life. Did you want a tissue for those issues? But the moment that you realize that, yeah, I am a piece of garbage, it's a weird thing. You become really, disgusted with yourself. And when I mean you admit it to yourself and you fully take it in, like you absorb it, you let it dominate you, and I'm talking you let it come to the surface, to your consciousness, right? You let it really come up. And I'm not talking about when you get drunk and then it all comes out nasty and ugly. I'm talking about when you're conscious and sober and you just like let it settle in, like, geez, I really think I'm a loser, or you get to that point of you're so disgusted with yourself. This being disgusted is an interesting thing. You become disgusted with yourself, and that's what creates change. Is because the negativity of being the same is greater than the negativity of change. And once you hit that point of you're disgusted with yourself, that's when change happens. That's when a piece of garbage starts to dust itself off. And all of a sudden, you're a piece of garbage with a little bit less dirt on it. So you start to change. You start to do things. You start to value yourself more. You start to build from where you actually are at versus where you think you're at. It's kind of like the guy who's really rich and has the power to do things versus the guy who's living on credit cards and thinks he's rich. And then he doesn't know how to build wealth or create wealth because there is no foundation on it. Right? He just got a whole bunch of lines of credit and he's just using money carelessly. We've always been, we've all been right. 18, get your credit card and you spend it all, you just rack it up and all of a sudden you're like, shit, I'm maxed out. But then that first moment when you've paid it off and you've learned how to manage your money and to budget and to spend wisely, you all of a sudden, are able to create more money and to create more stability. It's the same thing with confidence or self-worth. Until you realize where you're at, what you're actually standing on for your foundation, whether you're a piece of garbage or you're, very self-confident or you're just whatever it may be. It just brings, more self-awareness to where you're really at in life. So going back to if others are treating you poorly and you're thinking, how could they treat me like a piece of garbage? The next time you're in that situation, take an honest moment with yourself and say, am I? And be really open to the possibility that you might actually believe you're a piece of garbage and not know it. Or maybe I'm totally wrong. But ask yourself in an honest and vulnerable way. And I guarantee you, this chronic issue of disrespect and whatever, that cycle will start to change in a big way. It'll first start to change with how you feel about the situations, where you'll stop making up excuses for these people of, oh, it's okay, or you'll stop blaming them. You'll say, you know what can I do about it? This is partially my fault. What can I do to change things? And you'll see